Woman gives birth to 10 babies with different fathers. How did this happen? To find out, watch the video to the end. But first, please subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications to get more stories like this. In a small, quiet town nestled between rolling hills and shimmering rivers, there was an air of calm simplicity. Families knew one another, neighbors waved as they passed on the street, and life moved at a steady, predictable rhythm. But no one in this tranquil community could have predicted the extraordinary event that was about to unfold at the local hospital. Isabel Thornton was a woman of captivating charm and intelligence. In her early 30s, she had lived an unconventional life, one full of twists and turns that had earned her equal measures of admiration and whispers behind closed doors. Her journey through relationships had been colorful, a mosaic of connections that each left a unique mark on her soul. For years, Isabel had dreamed of becoming a mother. However, after a string of relationships that didn't stand the test of time, she decided to take matters into her own hands. She began researching fertility treatments and alternative parenting options, determined to build the family she had always envisioned. Her quest brought her to Dr. Elias Chambers, a renowned fertility specialist known for his groundbreaking methods. "Isabel," Dr. Chambers said during their first consultation, "you're embarking on a unique and courageous journey. I want you to know that my team and I will do everything we can to support you." Isabel smiled, her confidence unwavering. "Thank you, Dr. Chambers. I know this might not be the traditional path, but I'm ready for it." The treatments began with meticulous planning and careful consideration. Dr. Chambers, alongside his team, devised a comprehensive strategy to maximize Isabel's chances of conception. But what neither Isabel nor the medical team could foresee was the astonishing outcome of this procedure. Months later, Isabel found herself sitting in the examination room for her first ultrasound. Dr. Chambers adjusted the screen, his brow furrowing as he studied the image. "Isabel," he said, his voice tinged with both awe and disbelief, "I've never seen anything like this before." Isabel's heart raced. "What is it? Is everything okay?" Dr. Chambers turned the screen toward her, revealing a cluster of tiny heartbeats flickering in unison. "You're carrying 10 babies?" For a moment, the room fell silent as Isabel processed the magnitude of what she had just heard. 10. Not 1, not 2, but 10. A surge of emotions overwhelmed her, excitement, fear, disbelief, and joy all at once. "This is incredible," Isabel whispered, her voice barely audible. "How is this even possible?" Dr. Chambers hesitated before answering. "It's extremely rare, Isabel. But what makes this even more extraordinary is that each fetus appears to have a distinct genetic profile." Isabel blinked, struggling to comprehend. "Are you saying they have different fathers?" Dr. Chambers nodded. "Yes. It seems that during the fertilization process, multiple donors' genetic material was successfully utilized." News of Isabel's pregnancy spread like wildfire, captivating the small town and eventually reaching national headlines. Isabel became the subject of intense curiosity and debate. People from all walks of life weighed in on her situation, some praising her courage, others questioning the ethics and implications of such an unprecedented event. The media frenzy was relentless. Journalists camped outside Isabel's home, eager to capture every detail of her journey. She received countless interview requests, offers for reality TV shows, and even inquiries from scientific communities fascinated by the unique circumstances of her pregnancy. Through it all, Isabel remained focused on her goal, to bring her babies into the world safely and provide them with a loving, nurturing home. She leaned on a small circle of friends and family who stood by her side, shielding her from the chaos and offering unwavering support. As Isabel's due date approached, the anticipation reached a fever pitch. The hospital prepared for the unprecedented delivery, assembling a team of specialists from across the country. The logistics alone were staggering: 10 incubators, 10 neonatal teams, and a surgical suite outfitted with state-of-the-art technology. Isabel herself faced the final weeks of her pregnancy with a mix of excitement and trepidation. She had always been a strong, independent woman, but the enormity of what lay ahead tested her resolve in ways she had never experienced before. Isabel, her best friend Clara said during one of their late-night conversations, you're the bravest person I know. No matter what happens, you've already done something extraordinary." Tears welled up in Isabel's eyes. "Thank you, Clara. I just want to do right by them. I want to give them everything they deserve." The day of the delivery finally arrived, and the hospital buzzed with a sense of awe and purpose. Isabel was prepped for a C-section, her mind racing with thoughts of her babies. She tried to imagine what they would look like, what their personalities would be, and how her life was about to change forever. The delivery itself was a spectacle unlike any other. One by one, the babies were brought into the world, their cries filling the room like a symphony. Doctors and nurses moved with precision and care, ensuring each newborn received the attention they needed. By the time the 10th baby was delivered, the room erupted in applause. Isabel, exhausted but elated, gazed at the tiny miracles before her. "Welcome to the world, my loves," she whispered, tears streaming down her face. As Isabel rested in the hospital bed, surrounded by her 10 newborns, a wave of emotions washed over her. Each baby was carefully placed in an incubator, their tiny fingers and toes captivating everyone in the room. Doctors, nurses, and even journalists who had been granted special permission to witness the historic delivery couldn't contain their amazement. Dr. Chambers stood by Isabel's side, his voice filled with awe. "Isabel, what you've achieved here is nothing short of a miracle. Each of these babies is healthy, which is extraordinary given the complexity of this pregnancy." Isabel smiled weakly but proudly. "Thank you, Dr. Chambers. I couldn't have done it without you and your team." The media frenzy outside the hospital grew exponentially after the delivery. The story of the 10 miracles captured the imagination of people worldwide. Headlines blared, "Woman gives birth to 10 babies with different fathers, science and motherhood combine in unprecedented birth," and "A modern miracle, Isabel Thornton's journey to motherhood." As Isabel recovered, she began to notice something remarkable about each baby. Despite their shared environment, each infant had distinct features that hinted at their unique parentage. One baby had deep green eyes that sparkled with curiosity, another had a head full of thick, jet black hair, and another had the softest auburn curls. It was undeniable. These babies were as diverse as the world itself. Isabel's friends joked that her home was like a miniature United Nations. But to Isabel, they were simply her children, her greatest blessings. The nurses who cared for the babies became deeply attached to them, often remarking on their unique personalities. "This little guy here," one nurse said, pointing to a particularly active baby, "is going to be a handful. He's already trying to roll over." "And this one," another nurse chimed in, cradling a baby with a calm demeanor, "is so serene. She hardly ever cries." Isabel laughed softly. "They're already showing me who they are. I can't wait to watch them grow." But with the joy came challenges. Isabel was acutely aware of the scrutiny she faced from the public. While many people celebrated her as a trailblazer and a symbol of modern motherhood, others were less kind. Social media was abuzz with debates about the ethics of her pregnancy, with some questioning her choices and others hailing her as a pioneer. One particularly harsh comment caught Isabel's attention: "This woman is playing God. What kind of life will these kids have?" For a moment, doubt crept into Isabel's heart. But then she looked at her babies, their tiny chests rising and falling with each breath, and she knew she had made the right decision. "These children are loved," she said to herself. "And that's all that matters." As the days turned into weeks, Isabel began adjusting to life as a mother of 10. She hired a team of caregivers to help with the round-the-clock feedings, diaper changes, and soothing cries. Her home was transformed into a bustling haven filled with the sounds of coos, giggles, and lullabies. Claire, Isabel's best friend, became an integral part of the household. "You're going to need all the help you can get," Clara had said with a wink. "And besides, I've always wanted to be an honorary aunt." Together, they created a routine that allowed Isabel to bond with each baby individually. Every evening, Isabel would sit in the nursery, holding each child in turn, whispering words of love and encouragement. "You are so loved," she told one baby. "You are brave," she said to another. "You are going to do amazing things," she whispered to a third. Meanwhile, the public's fascination with Isabel's story showed no signs of waning. Offers poured in from documentary filmmakers, talk shows, and publishers eager to share her journey. Isabel carefully considered each opportunity, determined to protect her children's privacy while also using her platform to advocate for women's choices and advancements in reproductive science. She eventually agreed to participate in a documentary titled 10 Miracles: Isabel's Journey. The film chronicled her path to motherhood, from her decision to undergo fertility treatments to the historic birth and the early days of raising her children. The documentary was a global sensation, sparking conversations about family, diversity, and the power of love. Isabel's story resonated with people from all walks of life, inspiring countless others to pursue their dreams, no matter how unconventional. But amidst the fame and admiration, Isabel remained grounded. Her focus was always on her children and the life she was building for them. Each milestone, each smile, each giggle, each step, was a reminder of the incredible journey that had brought them together. One evening, as Isabel sat on the living room floor surrounded by her 10 babies, she felt a profound sense of gratitude. The world outside might be chaotic and unpredictable, but within these walls, there was only love. "Mom," Clara said, handing Isabel a cup of tea, "you've created something truly beautiful here. These kids are going to grow up knowing they're part of something extraordinary." Isabel smiled, her heart full. "They already are extraordinary, Clara, and I'm going to do everything I can to make sure they know it." As Isabel settled into her new life, she found herself reflecting on the uniqueness of her journey. Raising 10 children was no small feat, but raising 10 children with 10 different fathers presented challenges she had never anticipated. Despite the media frenzy and public debate, Isabel was determined to create a supportive and loving environment for her family. She began reaching out to the fathers. Some were curious and willing to be involved in their child's life, while others were hesitant or completely uninterested. Isabel approached each conversation with grace and understanding, emphasizing that her children would never feel unloved, regardless of the father's decisions. One father, Marcus, was particularly enthusiastic. "I had no idea this was even a possibility," he confessed during their first meeting. "But now that I know, I want to be there for my son. I want to be part of his life." Isabel smiled, relieved. "That's all I could ever ask for. He'll be lucky to have you." As time went on, Isabel started organizing monthly gatherings at her home, inviting the fathers who were open to being part of their children's lives. These gatherings became a melting pot of cultures and personalities, reflecting the diversity of her family. The children, too young to understand the complexities of their parentage, delighted in the attention and love they received. At one such gathering, Isabel watched as her living room buzzed with activity. Fathers played with their children, shared stories, and even helped each other with parenting tips. For the first time, Isabel felt a sense of community forming around her unique family. "You've done something amazing here," Marcus said, sitting beside Isabel as he watched his son crawl across the floor. "You've brought all of us together in a way that no one else could." Isabel laughed softly. "I never imagined my life would turn out this way, but I wouldn't trade it for anything." But not every interaction was positive. Some fathers refused to acknowledge their children, leaving Isabel to navigate the emotional fallout. She made a conscious effort to shield her children from rejection, surrounding them with love and support to ensure they felt secure. One evening, as Isabel rocked her youngest daughter to sleep, she whispered softly, "You're strong, my love. You're loved more than you'll ever know. And I promise you, I'll always be here for you." Her resolve only grew stronger with each challenge. Isabel sought out resources, connecting with other single mothers, therapists, and community groups. She became a fierce advocate for her children, ensuring they had access to everything they needed to thrive. Meanwhile, the documentary 10 Miracles: Isabel's Journey continued to garner attention worldwide. Isabel received letters from women who were inspired by her story, thanking her for showing them that there was no single definition of family. One letter, in particular, struck a chord. It was from a young woman named Sophia, who had always dreamed of becoming a mother but feared societal judgment for pursuing alternative paths to parenthood. "You've shown me that it's okay to follow my heart," Sophia wrote. "Your courage has given me the strength to embrace my own journey." Thank you for being an inspiration." Isabel wiped away tears as she read the letter. In that moment, she realized that her story was bigger than herself. It was a beacon of hope for others navigating their own unconventional paths. As the children grew, their unique personalities began to shine. Isabel marveled at their individuality, each one a testament to the beautiful tapestry of life. Her home was filled with laughter, curiosity, and boundless energy. Her son Leo, the most mischievous of the bunch, had a knack for finding adventure in the simplest of activities. "Mom," he said one day, holding up a jar filled with bugs he had collected from the garden, "look what I found. Can we keep them?" Isabel chuckled. "Leo, those bugs belong outside. Let's release them back into the garden where they can be free." Her daughter Amara, on the other hand, was a quiet and thoughtful child, often found sitting by the window with a book in hand. One evening, she approached Isabel with a question that stopped her in her tracks. "Mom," Amara began, her brow furrowed, "why don't I look like my brothers and sisters?" Isabel knelt down beside her, taking her hands gently. "Because you're special, Amara. Each of you is unique, and that's what makes our family so wonderful. We're a beautiful mosaic of love." Amara smiled, her worries eased by her mother's words. Isabel's journey was far from conventional, but it was hers. Through the highs and lows, she remained steadfast in her commitment to her children and the life they were building together. Her home became a sanctuary of love, resilience, and acceptance, a testament to the power of family in all its forms. As she tucked her children into bed one evening, she gazed at their sleeping faces, her heart swelling with pride. They were her miracles, her reason for every sacrifice and every ounce of effort she poured into their lives. "You are my everything," she whispered, planting a kiss on each forehead. "And I'll never stop fighting for you." As the years passed, Isabel's home became a vibrant hub of activity. Each child developed their own interests and passions, reflecting the diversity of their personalities and parentage. From sports to music to science experiments, the house was always buzzing with excitement. Leo, with his unending curiosity, started building small machines from scraps he found around the house. "Mom, one day I'm going to build something that changes the world," he declared confidently, showing her a small robot he had cobbled together. Amara, who had grown even more introspective, took to writing poetry. She often shared her verses with Isabel, who marveled at her daughter's depth and insight. "You have a gift, Amara," Isabel told her one evening. "Your words have the power to touch people's hearts." Meanwhile, the other children formed their own tight-knit bonds, finding comfort and joy in the unique family dynamic Isabel had created. Each child celebrated their individuality while recognizing the strength of their collective identity. One day, Isabel received a letter in the mail that reignited the media's interest in her family. The producers of 10 Miracles, Isabel's Journey, wanted to do a follow-up documentary, this time focusing on how the children were growing up and the lessons Isabel had learned as a mother. Initially hesitant to subject her family to the spotlight again, Isabel took her time to consider the offer. She spoke to Clara, her ever-reliable confidant, about the opportunity. "Do you think it's a good idea?" Isabel asked, sipping her tea as they sat on the porch. Clara thought for a moment before responding. "Your story has already inspired so many people, Isabel. This could be a chance to show the world what love and resilience look like, even in the face of challenges." After discussing it with her children, Isabel decided to move forward with the documentary, ensuring it would be handled with care and respect for their privacy. Filming began, and the crew quickly became enamored with the family's dynamic. The children, now old enough to share their perspectives, spoke openly about their experiences. They described the joys of growing up in a diverse household and the challenges they faced in navigating the outside world. "I used to get questions all the time," Leo said during one interview. "People would ask why my siblings and I look so different. But my mom taught me to embrace our differences. She always says we're like a rainbow, beautiful because of our variety." Amara, sitting beside him, nodded. "It's true. Our family isn't like most others, but that doesn't make us any less of a family. If anything, it makes us stronger." The documentary also highlighted Isabel's unwavering dedication to her children. Viewers saw glimpses of her daily life, helping with homework, cheering from the sidelines at soccer games, and comforting her children during moments of doubt. As the documentary aired, it sparked a wave of support and admiration for Isabel and her family. Letters and messages poured in from around the world, many from individuals who felt empowered by their story. One particularly touching letter came from a woman named Elena, who was raising her children as a single mother. "Your story has given me the courage to face my own challenges," Elena wrote. "Thank you for showing me that love is the most important thing a family can have." Isabel was deeply moved. "If our story can help even one person feel less alone," she told Clara, "then it's all been worth it." Despite the public admiration, Isabel remained focused on the day-to-day joys and trials of parenting. One memorable day, the children decided to put on a play for Isabel as a surprise. They spent weeks rehearsing in secret, enlisting Clara's help to create costumes and props. On the night of the performance, Isabel sat in the living room, her heart swelling with pride as she watched her children bring their story to life. The play, titled Our Family Rainbow, was a heartfelt tribute to their unique bond. Amara, playing the narrator, began the play with a simple yet powerful statement: "Families come in all shapes and sizes, but what makes them special is the love they share." By the end of the performance, there wasn't a dry eye in the room. Isabel hugged each child tightly, her heart full of gratitude. "You've made me the happiest mom in the world," she said, her voice choked with emotion. As the years went on, Isabel's children continued to grow into remarkable individuals. Leo pursued his dream of becoming an engineer, while Amara's poetry gained recognition in local competitions. Each child carved out their own path, supported by the foundation of love and acceptance Isabel had built. Reflecting on her journey, Isabel often marveled at how far they had come. What had started as an unconventional decision had blossomed into a beautiful, thriving family that defied societal norms and expectations. One evening, as the family gathered for dinner, Isabel raised her glass. "To us," she said, smiling at the faces around the table. "To our rainbow, and to the love that binds us together." Her children clinked their glasses together, their laughter filling the room. In that moment, Isabel knew that no matter what challenges lay ahead, they would face them together, as a family. As Isabel's children grew older, the questions from the world around them shifted. People no longer asked why they looked so different from each other, but instead marveled at the bond they shared. They became an example of unity in diversity, a living testament to the power of unconditional love. One day, Isabel was invited to speak at a national conference on parenting and family dynamics. She hesitated at first, unsure if her story would resonate with the audience. But after discussing it with her children, who encouraged her wholeheartedly, she decided to accept the invitation. Standing on the stage, Isabel gazed at the crowd of hundreds. She took a deep breath and began, "When I decided to become a mother, I never imagined my journey would be so unconventional. But through every challenge, every moment of doubt, my children have taught me that love transcends all barriers." Her speech was met with a standing ovation, and afterward, countless attendees approached her to share their own stories of overcoming adversity. Isabel realized that her family's story wasn't just about her. It was about everyone who had ever dared to defy expectations and create their own path. Back at home, the children were thriving in their individual pursuits. Leo, now a teenager, had built a fully functional drone and was working on a project to improve disaster relief efforts. "Mom," he said one evening, showing her his prototype, "this could help save lives." Isabel beamed with pride. "Leo, you're amazing. I can't wait to see what you accomplish." Amara, on the other hand, had started publishing her poetry online, gaining a small but devoted following. Her words resonated with people from all walks of life, and she often received messages from readers thanking her for her honesty and vulnerability. "You've got a gift, Amara," Isabel told her. "Never stop using your voice." The other children were equally remarkable in their own ways. One son, David, discovered a passion for music and spent hours composing melodies on the family's piano. Another, Maya, had an affinity for animals and volunteered at a local shelter every weekend. Isabel marveled at how each child brought something unique to their family's tapestry. But it wasn't always smooth sailing. The complexities of their family dynamics sometimes led to misunderstandings or conflicts. One evening, Amara and Leo got into a heated argument over whose turn it was to do the dishes. "It's not fair," Amara exclaimed. "I did them last night." "Yeah, but I had to take out the trash," Leo shot back. Isabel stepped in, her voice calm but firm. "Enough, you two. In this family, we support each other, not tear each other down. Let's figure out a solution together." The siblings begrudgingly worked it out, and by the end of the evening, they were laughing together over a game of cards. Isabel knew that these moments, though challenging, were an essential part of their growth. As the years went on, the family continued to draw attention from the media and the public. Isabel was invited to participate in a roundtable discussion on modern parenting, where she shared her insights alongside other trailblazers in the field. One of the panelists, a renowned child psychologist, turned to Isabel and said, "Your family is a shining example of what's possible when love and resilience are at the heart of parenting. What's your secret?" Isabel smiled. "There's no secret," she replied. "Just love. Love, patience, and the willingness to embrace the unexpected." Meanwhile, the children's achievements began to make headlines of their own. Leo's disaster relief drone won a national engineering competition, and Amara's poetry was published in a prestigious literary journal. Maya started a non-profit organization dedicated to animal welfare, while David performed at a sold-out concert to raise funds for underprivileged children. Through it all, Isabel remained their biggest cheerleader. She attended every recital, competition, and event, her heart swelling with pride at their accomplishments. But what mattered most to Isabel wasn't the accolades or the recognition. It was the moments of quiet connection, the family dinners filled with laughter, the late-night heart-to-hearts, and the endless hugs and I love yous that made their house a home. One day, as Isabel sat on the porch with Clara, watching the children play in the yard, she reflected on how far they had come. "Can you believe it?" she said, her voice filled with wonder. "It all started with a leap of faith, and now look at us." Clara smiled, squeezing her hand. "You've built something incredible, Isabel. Your family is proof that love knows no boundaries." As the sun set and the sky turned shades of pink and orange, Isabel felt a deep sense of gratitude. Her journey had been anything but ordinary, but it had been worth every moment. Her children were her world, her reason for everything, and she knew that together, they could face anything that came their way. Here's the final part of the story. As Isabel's children grew older and began forging their paths in life, she found herself reflecting more on the legacy they were creating as a family. Each child had their own dreams and aspirations, and Isabel's unwavering support had given them the confidence to chase those dreams fearlessly. One evening, as the family gathered for a celebratory dinner to honor Leo's acceptance into a prestigious engineering program, Isabel felt an overwhelming sense of pride. Her children, once small and uncertain, were now blossoming into remarkable individuals. During the meal, Amara stood up and raised her glass. "To Mom," she said, her voice full of emotion. "For teaching us what it means to love unconditionally and for showing us that family is about so much more than blood. We wouldn't be who we are without you." The other children raised their glasses, echoing Amara's sentiments. Isabel's eyes filled with tears as she thanked them, her heart swelling with gratitude. But Isabel's journey wasn't just about raising her children, it was also about learning and growing alongside them. Over the years, they had taught her invaluable lessons about resilience, acceptance, and the power of love. She often marveled at how much they had given her, just as much as she had given them. One day, Leo approached Isabel with a question that caught her off guard. "Mom," he said, "have you ever thought about writing a book? Your story could inspire so many people." Isabel hesitated. "I wouldn't even know where to begin," she admitted. "Start with us," Leo said, smiling. "Start with our family." Encouraged by her son's faith in her, Isabel began writing her memoir. The process was both cathartic and illuminating, allowing her to revisit the challenges and triumphs that had shaped her journey. She wrote about the sleepless nights, the moments of doubt, and the endless love that had kept her going. Most importantly, she wrote about her children, their uniqueness, their strength, and the joy they brought to her life. When the memoir, titled A Rainbow of Love, Our Unconventional Family Journey, was published, it quickly became a bestseller. Readers from around the world were captivated by Isabel's story and the lessons it offered. The book was praised for its honesty, its warmth, and its celebration of diversity. Isabel was invited to speak at events, where she shared her experiences and encouraged others to embrace the beauty of unconventional families. Love is the foundation of every family, she often said. And when love is at the center, anything is possible. As the years went on, Isabel's children began building families of their own. They carried with them the values their mother had instilled: kindness, resilience, and an unshakable belief in the power of love. Amara, now a published poet and educator, often recited one of her mother's favorite lines during her workshops: "Family isn't about who you look like or where you come from. It's about who loves you and who you choose to love." Leo, who had become an innovator in disaster relief technology, credited his success to the unwavering support he'd received from his mother. "She taught me to believe in myself, no matter what," he said during a keynote speech at an engineering conference. "And that belief has carried me through every challenge." In her later years, Isabel found joy in watching her grandchildren grow. Her home was once again filled with laughter, curiosity, and boundless energy. The legacy she had created, a legacy of love, acceptance, and unity, was alive and thriving. One afternoon, as she sat on the porch with Clara, surrounded by the chaos of children playing in the yard, Isabel felt a deep sense of peace. "Can you believe this is our life?" she said, her voice tinged with wonder. Clara smiled. "It's a beautiful life, Isabel. And it's all because of you." As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of gold and pink, Isabel looked out at her family. A family that defied expectations, a family that celebrated differences, a family that was a testament to the power of love. In that moment, she knew that her journey, with all its twists and turns, had been worth every step. And as her grandchildren ran up to her, their faces beaming with joy, Isabel opened her arms wide, ready to embrace the next chapter of their extraordinary story.